The doors are open and it's all about our kids today. Sweet poison. We look into how sugar is harming our children.
Later, we find out how having a pet could make your child a better grown-up.
Plus the power of play. Why we should act like kids more often.
What do you feel when you're playing?
I don't know yet, but I'll tell you later.
And we all do it. We do it every day, Ed. But how staring at screens is affecting our health.
We are getting a bit disconnected with each other physically.
All that and much more coming your way today.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well, and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello there, welcome back. Looks like the kids have taken over today, and of course if you have kids at home, stick around across the show. Lots of great info coming your way today.
We love children. I brought my own along.
You got a little BYO pack.
A little BYO pack. We've got beautiful kids in here today.
Grab some of the production staff's kids as well.
What were you like as a little kiddo?
Well, chubby would be a word I'd go for. I mean, if we wind the clocks way back...
to 1922.
That's me there in black and white. I think that was my first birthday, Zoe. I was fat.
Look at the little chookies.
And you, how old are you in this shot?
I reckon 4. Look exactly the same, don't I?
Cutie pie. I mean, clearly my only exercise was lifting the milk bottle to my fat little lips in between my fat cheeks, but, you know, you turn out all right. Now, I know you and Benji are expecting in February.
Yes.
So we found an app that'll actually project forward and see maybe what your baby might
Oh, my
look
gosh,
like.
I cannot wait to see.
Yeah, it's laxan.com. It's the baby maker
Oh, my
app.
Lord.
This is you with a little baby girl.
Oh, what is that, a baby girl?
I think so, yeah. It's going to be
What
little Edwina.
happened to its head?
It's good for it. I think Benji's got quite
Lots
an
of
impressive
brain.
forehead on him. And this is a little baby boy. Oh, my stars.
He looks just like me.
Really?
Look at those ears.
That's so cute. So that's the Baby Maker app.
Maybe no one do that
laxan.com.
at home. That is not good for the confidence. Now,
I love that.
Today's show, it's not just about the littlies. We're also talking about how tough this time of year is for teens.
Absolutely, yeah. The dreaded end of year exams are coming. Remember how it felt when your future was kind of resting on your shoulders, so you had to do well?
That was not a good time. That was not a good time.
We'll help you out.
Later, we'll show you how to help your teens through this tough time.
Yeah, and one solution might be to get everybody exercising, right? To keep active. Commando Steve's going to be here to help get our kids moving. You're going to want to join into that. Drop and give us 20 press-ups right now when he says.
Oh my gosh, exhausting. Exhausted already. Now, don't forget, you can interact with us all at houseofwellness.com.au. Lots of great articles there.
It's a really good website. And, of course, you can call us live here on the show, 1800 469 788.
And if you are like Ed and you're addicted to the Facey, get on there on your phone, on your laptop, follow us. So much great stuff on there.
I've got 75 friends now. It's booming a lot. First up, though, it is the dietary hot topic of our times, sugar. And look, of course, we know we should limit how much we eat, but there is a problem with this.
Well, you know what? I eat a little too much at the moment. But I don't think we actually know how much we are eating.
Yeah, true.
More importantly, do we know how much our kids are eating and how it affects their health?
Yeah. So here today to uncover the hidden secrets of this sweet poison is dietitian and nutritionist Susie Burrell, who's with us. Hi, Susie.
Good morning.
As a parent, this is such a concern because we want our kids to eat well, but there's hidden sugars.
Our children are consuming so much extra sugar.
Yeah.
At most, we're supposed to have 3 to 4 teaspoons of added sugar per day. And that's coming from our fruit and our dairy. But our kids are having bucket loads of snack food and muesli bars and biscuits. And, you know, parents are thinking they're feeding them quite healthy. And our kids are consuming 2 to 3 times the upper limit of sugar on a daily basis.
Because it's hidden, right?
Absolutely, it's hidden. You can't see it. But if you have a quick look at the ingredient list and you see it written, and in some of the popular foods, even a yogurt, you can get as much as 6 teaspoons in a food that perhaps is healthy because we see the words fruit, and as soon as we see fruit, we think that it's a healthy choice, and yet it can contain as much as 4 or 6 added teaspoons in those products.
So what is this sugar doing to our children?
The biggest issue is that we've got 1 in 4 of our children who are overweight or obese. So whenever we're consuming a diet that's high in sugar and particularly added sugars, it increases insulin levels over time, it drives appetite, it drives hunger, it means the kids seek out foods that are sweet, so they don't tend to prefer the plainer foods, and so they're programming.
It's an addiction,
well,
right?
they're programming their food tastes and preferences for a sweeter diet. There's other issues, of course. Tooth decay is a big one. Very expensive problem for parents because having exposure to sugars, particularly liquid sugars like soft drinks, cordials, fruit juices on the teeth, is decaying over time. So a huge number of health problems.
It is such a worry, and twice the bill for you because you've got twins, so good luck with that. It is hard to know where the sugars are hidden and what foods are actually good for us. Can you set us straight?
Well, the first thing is as soon as you're looking at any processed foods, so muesli bars, snack food, any of the packet foods that you see in the supermarket that are often marketed to children, which is really alarming. And you look at the ingredient list and you're looking and it's got sugar on it, that's a sign that you just keep well away. The other thing is things like fruit yogurts and fruit bars, again packed full of extra sugars. And then any of the liquid sugars, the fruit juices, cordials, sports drinks, these really shouldn't be in the diet for children at all. And if you want a guideline looking at the ingredient list and then the nutritional panel and looking for foods that contain less than 5 grams of sugars is a sign you're on the right track.
Hey kiddos, do you like sugar? Yeah?
Yeah.
You love it! I love it.
Big surprise.
Yeah, but what kind of foods can we give our children so they're not having such sugary foods? Like, how do we make the transition?
The first thing is you want to steer their palate to a more blander nature of snack food. So you want things like cheese and crackers, you want plain yogurt with fresh fruit rather than fruit yogurt. You want homemade treats. So if you're making a banana bread at home, you can control how much sugar that you're adding and try and keep away from as much packet food as you can and anything that's a processed form of sugar. So the fruit juices and the fruit snacks, these are the ones that are going to be concentrated and best avoided in the diet altogether.
It's going to be a tough conversation with our little ones because they are addicted, as you say. It's not too strong a word, right? But you'll learn if you stick at it for a few weeks, if you can hang in there, you can kind of wean them off a lot of these sugary drinks and sugary foods, can't you?
Well, the rule of thumb is that children will eat what you have available at home. So if you don't buy them and don't have them in the house, they get used to having the plainer varieties. And then don't talk about it. Often we go and talk to children and say, we're taking this away or you shouldn't be having this. And of course, if you gradually steer the family's palate at home, so you're drinking water, you're snacking on fresh fruit, you're having plain yogurt, you're making ice blocks out of Greek yogurt with some fresh fruit, and it still becomes a fun way to eat. You're not focusing on what you're eliminating from the diet.
Yeah, good questions and good points. 3 to 6 teaspoons a day max. What do we need to look for in terms of numbers when we're buying them little snacks and foods?
You want to be looking at the nutritional panel and looking for less than 10% total sugar when you're looking at that list, or less than 5 grams of added sugars per serve if you're looking at a food product.
Fantastic. Thank you, Susie. Gosh, I've got to get off the sugars too.
You're quite right. Well, we've learned it's important for our kids to have a healthy diet, haven't we? And that they're active and perhaps most importantly, that they get time to play.
Yes, play. Studies have shown that playtime nurtures healthy mental and social development in our children and is crucial for them. But as adults, Ed, we left playing in the schoolyard behind us years ago, and that could be a big mistake.
So to find out why, we sent Caroline Pemberton in search of the power of play.
After 18 long years as a kid, you can't wait for the day that you get your freedom and you can do whatever you like. You can go study, you can work, you can follow your own path. Except then, the pressures and the stress of adulthood start to stack up. But to stay healthy, there's one thing that we should be remembering from our childhood. And that is our ability to play.
The social benefits of playtime are so important that the United Nations even has an article stating that it's the right of every child on earth to be free to play. Psychologist Dr. Fiona Martin believes that as adults, we most commonly reconnect with our sense of fun from being with children.
I think a lot of adults engage in play when they become parents, or they find and discover the beauty of, or the joy of play when they become parents again, you know, and they find themselves playing with a bit of sand in the sand pit or colouring in or drawing next to their child.
Play is easy to recognise in kids and all kinds of animals in nature, but what does it look like in adulthood? To get a little insight, we are meeting up with a group of funsters who have already travelled much of life's journey. This is Zumba Gold. a high-energy work dance session for a group of 60 women who attend every week to get their adult dose of playtime.
What do you feel when you're playing?
I don't know yet, but I'll tell you later when I stop jumping.
The class uses Latin music and simple movements to improve flexibility, strength and balance.
I come from South America, from Chile, and we like to dance.
Oh, you come from Chile?
Yes.
So have you been dancing since you were my age?
Oh, yes. And before that...
It's suited for all ages, and according to these Zumba Golden Girls, it's a great way to stay young.
I feel dance is something that takes me right back to my childhood. Even if you've had an argument at home or, you know, things aren't going as well as you'd like them to be, suddenly you just go and just let go. It's just great. Enjoy yourself. You only live once.
But there is a serious point to all this fun, as Zumba instructor Claire points out.
I just love making people happy. I see and I've heard a lot of stories from these participants, especially in the older age group, about how Zumba has really changed their life. And, you know, people that have been at home depressed, lost their husband and thought they would never live again, in their own words, saying that, to being at every single class with me and up the front singing and dancing and embracing whoever you are. As long as you can smile and sweat, that's it, you're doing Zumba.
After all the life they've experienced, seeing these women enjoying themselves so freely is truly inspiring. And 70-year-old Naria was happy to go on the record with a little worldly advice.
And enjoy your life, because when you get old, you realize, oh my God, how many mistakes, what I miss.
But it's what she said after that really got me.
I get married in 5 weeks.
Oh, you. I'm so sorry for that.
Well, the Golden Girls of Zumba have really laid it on the line. Life is too short. As adults, it's critical that we make time for playtime, which is exactly what the group of grown-ups I'm about to meet do every single week.
After the break, Caroline's The Power of Play continues.
It's easy for us to forget to play, so this is a good kind of adult kind of play.
Plus, we look at what life skills your children can get from owning a pet.
And later, this man of steel is here to help you get the kids active. We will drop and give him 20. That and a whole lot more after the break.
Playtime. Are you getting enough of it? After spending a few hours with the Zumba Gold Girls, I'm convinced play is really, really good for us. Playtime can be anything you want it to be. A game of chess, a few frantic rides at your local theme park, or you could even try this.
I think this is less about soccer and way more about just having fun and losing all your inhibitions just because.
This is bubble soccer. 8 full-grown adults wearing 8 huge inflatable balls, having 8 kinds of bloody good fun. And if there are legends of this very silly sport, then Reg Pelivan is the king of the game in Australia.
This is something that you want to do with friends and family and, you know, work colleagues. It's for a laugh, you know, it's entertainment. But at the end of it, you just feel like you've released a lot of negative energy.
It's hard to kind of keep a work-life balance with teaching. It's easy for it to get away from you. I mean, I always encourage play in my classroom because I'm an early childhood teacher, so play is the basis of learning. So it's good. It's easy for us to forget to play. So this is a good kind of adult kind of play.
After meeting the Golden Girls of Zumba and Reg's Bubble Soccer Gang, I fully recommend you all go out and find yourself some serious fun.
I've just had the funnest day. I swear I've been laughing from dawn to dusk. My stomach muscles are going to be killing me in the morning. But, you know, it's the feeling you get when you get out of your own way and you have a wonderful time and you just play, and that can't be bad for you. It's got to be good for you. But I'm exhausted.
Oh, God, it looks like so much fun.
I mean,
How was that?
I can't even. It's so fun. And I think the thing is we underestimate the power of having fun and being happy for our wellness.
And that doesn't end into the more advanced years.
I know, I really think that we need to work hard on that, because you could think, oh, well, it's frivolous, I'm busy, I don't have time for that. But the immense benefits of it, and just, fun people are happy people are well people.
Exactly. And now when we go to children, we can't underestimate the magic of play and imagination.
No, and they have done some interesting studies that show that essentially, playful, happy kids are really well adjusted, and then growing up, if you didn't get that playful time, you're not so well adjusted. There's a few issues that come up later in life. So really, it's just a good excuse. Get out there, play, have fun.
Play, Zumba, be silly.
Zumba. Bubble soccer.
Right?
Is the bomb. It's so fun.
I love that. Thank you so much.
I'm back with the kids and Wicket as well. Now, there's no doubt we love our pets. They bring us companionship and affection and unconditional love. But did you know they can also make your child a better grown-up? Huh? Good advice, kids. Here with me today to explain is veterinarian Julie Summerfield. Hello again.
Hello, nice to see you.
How can this happen? We all get a pet, for the love and the exercise. How was it such an advantage to have a furry creature in our house?
Well, we know they're good for our well-being, but also socially, they're often a conduit to other people. And so for kids, it teaches them responsibility, it teaches them empathy. It's a creature that potentially is more helpless than themselves. Yes. So they learn to look after and, say, going to a park or something, it's a way to interact with other people.
And indeed, it helps you with your social skills, I should imagine, research is showing.
Yes, there's some amazing research actually into how animals are used as assistance dogs. They can help with autism and just getting the confidence and calming children down and allowing them to express themselves and feel safe, because as people we can be quite judgmental, whereas pets do give us unconditional love, and they help with all sorts of anxiety-related issues.
Easy, Wicket, easy.
They're used a lot actually with kids with learning issues or ADHD, all sorts of amazing programs.
Well, we've heard a lot about animals with therapy. I mean, my 6-year-old would happily talk to the cat all day. But for some kids with learning disorders and so on, equine therapy and animal therapy is a big thing now.
A huge thing. There's some really, really interesting programs that have been done. You say equine therapy. There was Father Chris Riley and Greg Powell, a horse whisperer, did this Wild Brumbies program where they got sort of wild teens that had been in trouble with the law or had some social issues or whatever, and they trained wild Brumbies, and they were rewarded for their bravery. It taught them patience, it taught them resilience, and it taught them that it's not all about them, that they need to build trust with this other creature, and it's they gain that safety that they may not feel with other humans if they've, been neglected or...
Perhaps we don't get that from a cat so much, however,
cats are different.
Animals,
cats are completely different class. But certainly dogs, even dolphin therapy is used. A little bit less accessible for everybody, but for all sorts of conditions. And go on.
All right, so when our kids say, Dad, Mum, we need a puppy, what are the arguments for?
Absolutely. Look, I think responsibility is a big thing, that this animal needs to be walked, it's going to live for 15 years, it needs to be fed, you need to take part in this. It teaches them empathy, it teaches them responsibility. Respect is another one. Respecting another creature and empathy, and we hear a lot about emotional intelligence, and I think that's a really huge life skill that can be taught. How to interact with other people and relate, and you relate your emotions to another creature who doesn't speak. So it's non-verbal communication. It's lovely.
Get a pet. It's the right thing to do. You'll need a good vet too. That's you. Thanks, Julie.
Yes, thank you.
Stay with us. We've got plenty more to come.
GQ will be in the hot seat to answer your calls.
And later, exercises you can do with the kids. Commando Steve will show you how, and he's bringing his kids in to help him along.
Coming up, we look into anxiety disorders in our teens, and is it getting worse?
All that and so much more. It's one for the kids today. Stay with us on the House of Wellness. Welcome back to you all, and welcome back, Gerald. Quigley, our very own all-round nice guy who is here to answer all your calls live and health questions. G'day, GQ.
Ed, good morning. And Zoe.
Going to pop in real quick.
You always do.
I know. That's what I'm here for, to ask you the questions. Now, a friend of mine has a 4-year-old son who is suffering with growing pains. Now, I'm not familiar with this, except in my uterus. What do we do for this little boy?
I'll leave you to talk to the experts about your pain here. This is all about growing. So, and it's an obscure sort of thing, but when kids grow, all their energy is directed to the growing. So their muscles and bones are stretching and they ache, and a bit like fatigue in an adult. So the mineral of choice is calcium, high calcium foods, dairy, fresh green vegetables, fish, anything with fish with soft bones, that helps calcium. And there is a tiny little calcium phosphate supplement if needed, but most of it will come from food.
Fantastic.
All right, there we go. Now, our first caller on 1800 469 788 is Kathy, standing by in Sydney. Go ahead.
My question is, my daughter's got exams at the moment. She's pretty stressed and she's really not sleeping at night. So is there anything I can give her to help that is obviously healthy?
And your daughter probably...
Not a worry.
Sorry,
Thanks.
Kathy.
Bye.
Probably with 10,000 other kids as well having stress attacks.
And it's not just the parents, Ed. It's just not the students. It's the parents as well. The whole household gets involved.
Yeah.
The herb of choice is ginseng, which is a recovery type herb. But Dr. Ellie Walker's coming on soon, and she will have lots of information about this whole household stress connected with exams. So stay on, Kathy, and you'll get great information from Dr. Ellie.
All right, to your next calls on the line, we have Jono in Yagoona in New South Wales. Hey, Jono.
I've got a little 4-year-old. She goes to daycare all the time and gets conjunctivitis. What can I do when she comes home with the conjunctivitis?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a contagious thing in its early stages, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Ed. And it shows, Jono, that she's either carrying it all the time or someone at kinder is probably, or at daycare, is reinfecting her because they all have to cuddle. So, look, if it's persistent, you need to go and have it checked out because it can just dwell in the eyes and come back and haunt you. But in the meantime, give her at home her own set of towels and just make sure that she doesn't share with everybody else.
Should you be washing your towel every time?
No, well, it's a good idea. Okay. And you can always use saline eye drops to try and keep any of the infection away as well.
Alrighty, our number here at the House of Wellness is 1800 469 788. Michelle is standing by in Balmain, New South Wales.
I have a problem with my 9-year-old son who is a chronic nail biter. He constantly bites his nails and I just want to know what I can do to stop him.
Michelle, this is habit. So I don't know if either of you two are nail biters. Some kids often...
Back in the day, and they put that disgusting thing on.
And that's the solution. That disgusting thing breaks the cycle because often it's a distraction. Fingers just go into mouth straight away. Now, not only can you get infections around your mouth, you get infections in the nails as well. So it's a habit you've got to stop with those disgusting type solutions you mentioned. And they're still around. They've been around for 4 years.
Well, they work.
They do. Good. Look at yours.
Thank you. Now, don't forget, everyone, if you want to contact us, you can find us at houseofwellness.com.au. There you can email Gerald a question or you can call us. Like Ed said, 1800 469 788.
Well, they say children 6 and over should exercise at least 60 minutes plus per day, and to make it fun, we've enlisted none other than Commando Steve to get everybody up and moving. Hello, mate. You brought little Axel in as well, who's rocking a pretty awesome mullet, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And a lot of your kids, the production team's kids here, come on in, guys, we're going to get you fit and active right now. I mean, kids learn by us doing stuff and watching, and this is where you set such a great example with your family and to all your clients as well.
It's just that emulation of action, but most importantly with kids is make it fun.
Absolutely. All right, so why don't we go through a few exercises? It's going to be mini boot camp, you guys.
Yeah, we good for that?
Yeah.
All right, so first one, bit of a frog hop. You got to call ribbit in the top though.
Like a froggy
Ready?
noise.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Touch the ground, jump, 1.
Ribbit.
2, do 5.
Let me hear you, ribbit.
3, come on, keep that chest up. 4, go Jackson flying through the air. 5, all right, rest there.
You got extra resistance there with Axel.
You know, on something like that, I know we're here in the studio, but you could do it in a park, you know, over a distance.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just another day at your house, right?
Exactly. Hey, we do this stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah,
on
I
the
can
floor.
imagine.
Axel would do that, but he's a bit shy at the moment.
Okay, he'll warm up to it. What are we going to do next?
I reckon we do a belly flop. Everyone know what a belly flop is? Come across a bit. Come across.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get the kids to do it because I'm
Right.
holding Axel.
Fair enough.
You got 10 seconds of belly flops. How many can you do?
10 like I
You reckon you can do 10?
Woo!
Go.
Ready,
Go.
go.
Go!
Chest to
One.
the ground. Big
Little
clap.
Yep. Nice
Come
work.
on, get that chest on the ground.
Good job.
Looking
yes.
good. Looking good. Where you going, Ella?
Okay.
And rest.
Time.
Fantastic. Did anyone get 10? Come across this way.
All right. Shall we
So
finish
that's
with
two
a flourish?
exercises.
Okay.
Let's do one more exercise. So the adults,
Yep.
that's the two of us. We're going to go a plank. Kids, you've got to crawl under, then jump over our legs.
All right.
We're good
deal.
for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's strengthen
Good
that
luck
core.
with Axel. Here we
All
go.
right, we ready, kids?
Okay.
Set.
Who's
go.
through first? We'll
Go,
start
go,
with.
quick. Come on.
This is your boy Jack.
Go. This is Jack.
Okay.
Next one.
Next is Josh.
Next one. Come on, get in there,
Go, Josh.
get in there.
Here comes Ella. Oh, you're a fast little
Come on,
worm.
let's go.
Here comes Maxie.
How you
And
feeling, Ed?
Big
Come
Jackson.
on, let's go.
And jump.
Okay, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, you're going again.
I'm worried for the children under Ed.
Core.
Yeah.
All right, rest there.
And one more. Well done, Joshy. All right. Good job.
Bring it in, kids. Bring it in.
Well done, you guys. Nice work. So let's say you have a bit of fun.
Oh, well done.
Get your kids into it. Maybe try this at home, but with fewer children. And that's the way to stay fit and keep everybody inspired. Thank you, Big Commando. You are the man, the chief in charge of everybody here. Shall we?
Yeah, my new life. Now, recent studies showed Aussie teenagers suffer more exam anxiety than students in other countries. Anxiety disorders affect how teenagers think, feel and behave. Is it getting worse? Here to explain is social scientist Dr. Ali Walker.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well.
You're not looking stressed. No anxiety here today.
No.
This is alarming, though, that as Australians, we aren't even on the board with other countries when it comes to anxiety in teenagers.
So it is getting worse. So a recent Australian Bureau of Statistics study showed that now 6.9% of young people aged 4 to 17 suffer from an anxiety. From 4. Well, that's how they're defining young people, suffer from an anxiety disorder. And we need to be really careful about the language we use around this, because I think all of us have experienced anxiety at some point. You know, the sweaty palms and the racing heart, and some people might even feel nausea at different points when they're feeling anxious. But an anxiety disorder is something a little bit different. An anxiety disorder is all about the frequency and intensity of your anxious feelings.
Making you debilitated in a sense?
Yeah, so people with anxiety disorders, they find it difficult to work or study or socialise. So we need to distinguish between feeling anxious and having an anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And we manage both of those things very differently, because if you have an anxiety disorder, we're talking about things like obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, or generalised anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And those disorders need the intervention of a health professional.
Absolutely. But when we're talking about teenagers and studying and exams with anxiety, how do we manage that? Say you're a student watching right now, how do you manage that?
So there's a few things that you can do. The first thing you need to do is name the emotion as anxiety. So a UCLA study showed that naming emotions lessens their intensity. So simply saying out loud, I am feeling anxious, or I'm feeling really nervous, or I'm overthinking this, can actually lessen the intensity of the anxious feeling. So that's the first thing to do. I think I've actually spoken to a lot of people suffering from anxiety, and even people with anxiety disorders say that once they identify the anxiety as anxiety, that they can say, this nausea I'm feeling, this racing heart is anxiety. They can take themselves into a quiet place, do some breathing, which is the next strategy, which is replace anxiety with mindfulness.
Yeah,
now,
fantastic.
Countless studies, I actually can't name them all because there's so many, have shown the benefits of mindfulness to the point where I can say that mindfulness is actually the cure to anxious feelings.
That's incredible.
And when we're talking about mindfulness, we're talking about a few different things. The first thing is just...
Meditation?
That's a type of mindfulness. So with mindfulness, we're talking about focusing on the breath, focusing on sensory awareness. So what are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you touching? And also observing your feelings rather than identifying with those feelings. So actually that comes into the naming the emotion. Like, interesting, I'm feeling anxiety.
This is what's happening in my body. It's so interesting.
Yeah, and then the third one, I think for all families, and this is something for parents and teens as well, to create a sanctuary at home. So really, we know that things like sleep and diet and screen time all impact on the way that we feel. So if home's a sanctuary, it's somewhere where teens can go to feel...
And just feel relaxed.
Away from the busyness of the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali Walker. Stay with us, there is more to come. The A to Z of vitamins. We look at multivitamins and how they can help your kids.
After the break, the 21st century's next big health problem, screen addiction.
Well, my oldest daughter would be 12 hours a day, minimum.
It's all about the kids today. See you back here after the break.
Remember the good old days when cars were built for style and speed? Safety wasn't really a huge concern. There were no seatbelts, and let's be honest, who'd even heard of an airbag? Those were the days of binge drinking and smoking a lot of cigarettes. Thankfully, we survived those times, but as it turns out, we now have a new threat: the smartphone. Are screens bad for your health? In just over 120 years, modern society has gone from the first film ever screened to a live audience, to the birth of television, home computing, and the internet. As a society, we're now completely dependent on screens of all shapes and sizes. The upside is, all this tech has made our lives richer and easier, but there are downsides too. The fact is, screens can pose a huge danger to our health by distracting drivers and pedestrians alike.
If you're distracted for just 2 seconds at 50 kilometres an hour, you'll travel 27 metres blind.
But beyond these attention-based hazards, our screen use is also causing many strain-related injuries. When we use our screens, our eyes are continually focusing and refocusing. This repetitive motion causes computer vision syndrome, a damaging form of RSI. Then there is the high-energy blue light, which is emitted by all devices. It can mess with our brain chemistry and even cause insomnia. Dr. Joanne Orlando is an expert in the field of kids and technology.
Smartphones have changed our lives enormously. You just have to think of your day-to-day life now compared to 10 years ago.
And she believes that our dependence on smartphones is starting to interfere with one of the most essential human relationships, the family unit.
When I go into a family, what I often see are kids over there on their device or by themselves on their device, and mum and dad over there.
As part of her research, Dr. Joanne works with Aussie families to find solutions to the relationship their kids are having with technology.
We are getting a bit disconnected with each other physically. You might be connecting with people online, but physically you're not talking to the person next to you. You are in your own online world.
This is Emily and her sister Sophia, and they're pretty typical of most Aussie teenagers who, according to research, spend more than 10 hours a day using their computers, mobile phones or TV screens.
I just think it's the attachment to the actual phone itself. Like, if I'm not with it for more than like an hour, I'll go back and there will be like messages and then have to scroll all the way back and read everything. And
on average, Aussies of all ages are spending about 143 days of the year involved with a screen of some sort. This incredible statistic means we're leading more sedentary lifestyles, heightening the risk of obesity. And let's not forget bad posture. Children often sit for hours in hunched over positions while using their laptops and phones. Okay, Joe, it looks to me like Sophia is going to have a very sore back very soon.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of us are in the habit of just pulling our head forward and arching our back when we're on our device. Yep. And it actually puts a lot of strain on your back. For every 2 centimetres your head goes forward, it's an extra 5 kilos of strain on your spine. Yeah, so we need to take care of the way that we sit when we're using our device.
Yeah, especially when we're young.
That's right. So let's fix you up.
Their dad Peter does worry, but for parents, screens are a fact of modern life that needs to be managed.
Well, my oldest daughter would be 12 hours a day, minimum, and that's both devices, computer and telephone. And my other daughter, that we still have a little bit of, compromising there, maybe 2 to 3 hours a day.
So there you have it. The technology that fuels our lives today has so much potential to make our lives better, but we do need to be careful and make sure we control the devices rather than the other way round.
Well, we are back with Lynette Bolton now. That was a really amazing story. Really sobering, wasn't it? And it's not just our kids who are getting addicted. Adults too are being overtaken by our digital lives.
And I think it's really easy to, pass it on to children because we do see kids with their screens. But as adults, we have phones, we have iPads, we have laptops, we have computers, and everything that we do revolves around a screen. So I do think adults actually spend a lot more screen time than they probably realise.
It's true. What can we do, though, to make a conscious effort to have less screen time?
And I think that's the thing, though. I think you do have to make a conscious effort because between emails and social media and all of those things that we do, even listening to podcasts and watching TV now, we do it, on our phones. You do have to decide to do a few things. So when I get home, I like to leave my phone in the bedroom or in a room that I'm not in so that I'm not always checking it. And even with emails, things like maybe check it at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. But just have a few little simple rules that you can follow. And it's conscious, like you said, you have to make an effort.
Yeah, and whose kids don't say, stop scrolling, Dad, stop scrolling, Mum?
And that's how you know, because our kids do that to us. They're like, Dad, get off the phone, Mum, get off the phone. You're like, OK, there's a reality check, put the phone down.
A little nod over there from Piper, who you brought in with her friend Zara. Stop scrolling, everybody. Great story. Thanks so much for that, Lynette.
Thank you.
And don't forget, every Sunday you can hear us around the country on radio with Larry Emder, Gerald Quigley and the team at the House of Wellness on the airwaves. You can hear us on our Macquarie stations, 2GB, 3AW, 4BC in Adelaide, as well as Perth. Now, also got to mention our spring edition of the House of Wellness magazine is out too. Busy Aussie model Elise Taylor shares her delight at taking a natural approach to life. And inside you're going to find so much more on health and beauty as well. This is a great mag.
That was me.
There you were. Available in Chemist Warehouse stores as a gift with purchase.
Now watch out, ladies, and maybe Ed. Over the last 2 months, the fragrance Zipped Man and Chemist Warehouse have been on the search for the face of the new fragrance Zipped Legend.
You
Ooh
say
la la!
Zipped, should we say ripped, guys? The winner was announced this week. We've got to say congrats to Lawrence Templar. He gets his very own fragrance as a prize here. Not only that, he and his partner Sally are about to join your club, Parenthood, expecting their first baby. So congrats. It's a good day to be Lawrence Templar, isn't it? We will be back right after this quick break here on the House of Wellness.
Pharmacist and medical herbalist and child at heart, Gerald Quigley is back with the A to Z of vitamins.
And later we'll be joined by Zoe Bingley-Pullin with some handy tricks on how to get your children to eat their vegetables.
We'll see you soon back here at the House of Wellness.
Welcome back to the House of Wellness. Well, it's all about the kids today, and we couldn't do a special without one of the biggest challenges being a parent. Dinner times.
Now, I have heard of that nightly battle between the children and the plate of peas. I can't wait. I can't wait to tackle it. Zoe Bingley-Pullin is here to make vegetables your child's best friend.
Yes, it can be very challenging, but there are some good ways without tricking your children
Oh, I
into
thought it was
getting...
tricking.
No, there's better than that, Look, I think what's frightening is that it's the statistics of what children are and aren't eating. So what we know is 5% of children are consuming their 5 servings of vegetables, and only 4% of that are actually consuming the right amount. So this is highly contributing to obesity, diabetes. So it's about getting into the good food.
All right, well, we've got a whole bunch of willing lab rats here to try it out, including your gorgeous little Emily. We've got Ella, Jack, Josh, Maxie and Jackson. They've been exercising hard. So can we give them some samples? What should we start with?
So let's start with the quinoa porridge. So what I've done here is I've grated some carrot into the quinoa porridge and I've put apple. There's berries in there as well. When we're talking about toddlers and giving...
let's talk about toddlers and how we don't trick them into eating veggies.
So look, I'm always in the belief that if you explain to children what they are over and over again, like anybody else, you need to keep exposing them to different foods.
Right.
So the more you expose them, at times we don't want to eat certain foods.
That
it's
is
very
true.
normal with children
Broccoli
as well.
can be difficult to take in every day.
Absolutely. So if we can put these foods in different types of ways and expose them to the colours and the textures and the flavours, what we're giving them is we're giving their palate exposure to these types of foods as well.
Makes them love them more, right, over time.
Well,
makes them normalise.
Normalise. Get them used to the flavours and what it feels like in their mouth as well.
Does it taste any good, Josh?
Yeah.
Really?
Woo!
She's a cordon bleu chef.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
She
good.
worked hard on those.
Yeah, good.
Glad you appreciate it. Now, when we're talking about veggies, we know they're important for our health, but why are they so crucial for children?
So what children need is they need exposure to different nutrients. So they need fibre, enzymes, minerals in their diet, and they need a huge abundance of these types. So they're growing at such a rapid rate, and you are what you eat. It is so important that we are actually giving children at least, toddlers require at least 2 to 4 servings of vegetables. So that's half a cup is a serving. So it's quite a lot. So a lot of parents get a little overwhelmed putting them, because normally, traditionally, we think of only putting them in savoury foods.
Yes.
That's why exposing them to some of the sweet variety of foods is a good way. Like the muffin here, we've got a pumpkin and brown rice muffin with a little bit of yogurt and strawberry on top.
Yum.
And then the last one we did, which is so simple, it's a fruit ball.
Is this like a teenager-friendly, like a bliss ball?
Absolutely.
And what's this? What do you call
Bananas, I know.
Fruit.
Crazy.
Amazing.
Crazy.
He's never seen one before. So when we're talking teens and fruit and veggies, that can be tough because they're out there, they're at the canteen buying what they want. Jamming them into a goodie ball.
So there's a number of things that you need. You need high energy dense foods, but what you need low glycemic foods as well.
Right.
Long serving energy. So what I've done is I've put beetroot in this. Beetroot has got a really good taste profile. It's quite sweet. You can put beetroot powder, but there's so much research that shows how it oxygenates the blood. It gives this big boost of energy, and it tastes good.
Big hit, kids. There's more here for you if you want them. Zoe, thank you so much. And you can find all these amazing recipes on the House of Wellness website. It is houseofwellness.com.au. Good job. Delicious.
Thank you
Happy
very
kids. Full tummies. And how cute is your little
Delicious.
Emily? Got more coming up after this quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. A to Z of Vitamins time. Gerald Quigley is back with us, or Grandpa G, as we found out he's called, by the kiddies. As we've seen, it's pretty hard to get our kids to eat all their fruit and veg. Like 95% of Aussie kids aren't getting enough. Is it out of the question to think about a supplement for our little ones as well?
No, it's not, Ed. And chewable supplements for kids, they got a bit of a pasting a few years ago because there's some sugar in them. But it's better than nothing. And it's a tiny part, really, of an everyday wholesome diet. And just to fill the gaps, it's a common sense option. So forget about the little bit of negativity, which always puzzles me.
Yeah.
But go for it.
I think vitamin is the call I hear every morning from my 2 kids. Dad, we need our vitamin. And they get a little thing from the fridge. Yeah, gummy.
Yeah. Well,
something
that's
like
good
that.
if they're actually asking
Little
for it.
fishy one or something that's in the shape of an octopus.
Yeah. But food's the best option.
Yeah.
But always be ready to plug the gaps.
Any good options here that we
Well,
should
really,
take a look at?
look, anything which has got a range of the minerals that children need to grow. We've talked growing a bit today, but food backed up by some options.
And again, this thing. I mean,
It's a banana, Ed.
What is it?
It's a banana.
Banana,
Brand
you
new,
say?
new invention.
Fruit. Give it a go.
Can you say
All
it? Banana.
No.
Yeah. He'll get used to it.
Fantastic stuff.
Now,
All right.
favourites?
I like.
love today?
I like my workout with the kids with Commando. That's how you do it.
I was actually really worried about you in the plank falling on one of them.
We both were. Ed. We could see we had health and safety ready.
Yeah. And then they went second
Gerald?
last.
Best for the day. Look, having the kids in, sensational.
Yeah, and I loved Zoe Bingley-Pullin's recipes.
Delicious.
Yes.
Alrighty,
Yum, yum,
before we go,
yum.
thanks to you guys, and a big thanks to everyone who's appeared on the show, all our kids, and a big thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse as well for getting behind us here at the House of Wellness.
Enjoy your week. We will see you next time.
Yep, bye.
Bye.